Good evening and welcome to the Town of Rockland Board of Selectmen meeting for Tuesday, June 7th, 2022. Please stand and join us in a salute to the flag. Jeff Nigerian, could you start us off?
I'd be happy to. Please, facing our flag, present arms or salute. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Jeff. Please be advised that this open meeting is being broadcast live and recorded for playback by WRPS at www.youtube.com/WRPSRockland. Please go to www.WRPSRockland.com for further information. First on the agenda, we're actually going to go slightly out of order and jump to other new business not reasonably anticipated. We have a Eagle Scout in the room who would like to present his Eagle Scout project to us. Matt Rogers, come on up. In process. Sorry. I think it's in the bag. Matt, welcome back.
Hello, I'm Matt Rogers from Troop 57 here, and I'm here to request permission for going through with my Eagle project, and my goal is to create a sign for the Abaya Reed Cemetery on Spring Street. It doesn't currently have any markings you wouldn't really know where the cemetery was, since there's like a dirt road that goes down into it. Mm-hmm. So it's, from my knowledge, it belongs to the town. The park department takes care of it. And yeah, I'd like to fix some of the fallen headstones in there and put a sign out front so people can know where it is.
Anybody have any questions, concerns, comments for Matt?
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. Jeff, any comments, Jeff?
I just wanted to mention that this is an old cemetery, and it has graves starting in the Revolutionary War and going all the way up to World War II. Almost every war in between. It's one of those ones that, because of where it's at, hard to find or see, it's been tough to take care of. Between volunteer work and the park department, it's starting to look pretty good, but there's a lot of headstones that over the years, through various causes, are down or broken. And Matt's got a good project, and I think it'll be good for the town.
Okay. So I don't know that it's entirely necessary for us to take a vote, but I think ceremoniously, I'll entertain a motion to allow Matt to do this at the town cemetery on Spring Street.
So moved.
I have a motion. I have a second.
Second.
I have a motion in 2 seconds. All those in favor? That's unanimous. Matt, good luck, and we hope to come back at the completion of your project. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it, guys.
Thank you very much.
All right, next on the agenda, Rockland Day, June 17th through 18th. Mr. Lucas.
Good evening, everybody.
Welcome, John. Thanks for coming by.
I think pretty much everything is the same as when I first talked to you several months ago. Going through very quickly, highlighting the biggest things. First of all, I want to mention that, as I said before, all of this is through sponsorships. It's not costing the town anything. On Friday night, the 17th, at between 5:30 and 8:30, we have 2 bands. One is a local band that we had last year. The second band goes by the name of Living on a Bad Name. They're a Bon Jovi tribute band, so that they've got a tremendous reputation, so that it should be good. And this will be held at the stage between the senior high school and the middle school. We have approximately 7 food trucks going to be there that night, so that should be a very interesting time. Saturday the 18th, we're going to have approximately 70 vendors on the high school, on the diamond in the stadium there. And these are some local groups, civic groups and such, as well as some mom and pop operations that people run from their home and such. We have charged a small fee for it, but That should go over well, and we have approximately 70 vendors as of an hour ago. We'll also have approximately 11 food trucks that day. There will be 5 bands playing throughout the day, starting at 11 o'clock, going till 4 o'clock. We also have a canine demonstration going on. There's some local karate schools, I think 2 of them, that are putting on a demonstration during the day. We're going to have a cornhole tournament running from 12 o'clock till 8 o'clock. And there is online, and the day of, you'll be able to register for it. We will have a dunk tank, and we've had a number of people that have volunteered to be in it. I won't name any names, Doug, but that will be starting at 11:30. We are going to charge $1 for that, just so that we get a little control over the number of people. And if any of you would like to volunteer, we can certainly find time to fit you in. We are going to have a beer garden.
Just to be clear, that's not to throw balls at me, that's to be in the dunk tank.
But you are volunteering to be in.
I'm in, yep, I'm in. You have to throw with your left hand with the cast.
Unfortunately, it's tragic that I won't be able to participate.
We can get a
in the
plastic
tank.
bag to
Yeah,
go
it's
over,
just-
really.
It's just not the same,
We are going to have a beer garden that is going to run from 3 o'clock till 8 o'clock in the afternoon. We have 4 local brewers that are coming. One of them happens to be sitting in the audience right now to get their final approval. They're a local one, they're from Rockland, so it ought to work out very good. We're going to have 5 inflatables, like a moonwalk and several other games that are inflatable types of things. We have a train coming, so there'll be train rides for the children, or anybody actually, that we're not charging for, Rockland Day is paying for it. We have pony rides with the same thing. Sheriff's Department is going to come doing fingerprinting. We have probably 4 alpacas coming that the children will be able to pet, and adults as well. Face painting, we have a photo booth. I can't tell you much about that because I don't know, but they volunteered to come and do photos. So. And we're about 95% that the State Police Air Wing is going to come in with a helicopter, which I think most people would like to take a close look at if you've never had the opportunity. We'll have a first aid station there. And I think that's pretty much it, other than starting at 9:15 and 9:17, there will be fireworks, which I am told will be better than last year, which I guess was pretty spectacular. So,
Well, it doesn't sound like you have much going on for Rockland Day, but
we do have a cleanup committee lined up
Yeah.
for Sunday morning as well.
anybody have any questions or comments for John?
I don't. I just want to say thank you for all you do to make this day a success. I'm looking forward to it.
It's a lot of fun, and I got a tremendous crew to put it together. It's just not me by any means.
Seems like we're in a situation in the world where we need to have some fun. So kudos to all you guys for
I
putting this
tend to
together.
agree with you.
Yeah, I'm just chiming in, thank you very much to you and your committee. It's going to be a great day, and last year was wonderful, and I'm very much looking forward to these 2 days. It'll be great.
It should be a real good time. Just everybody say a little prayer for the weather.
Yeah, it's usually the highlight, one of the highlights, signature events for the town. Just real quick, you mentioned the cleanup the following day. Where's everybody meeting for the cleanup, and what time would that be at?
We're going to meet at 9:30 at the Veterans Memorial.
Okay, perfect.
And I think most of the cleanup will be right up Division Street, like it was last year. If anyone is in a position to give us a hand that day, the more hands, the quicker it'll clean up, and the more thorough job we can do.
John, as always, thanks for all you do. We appreciate it.
Very well.
All right,
Thank
thank you,
you.
sir. Good luck.
Yeah.
Second night, huh? Next on the agenda, annual Rockland Racers, Mondays, July 11th through August 22nd, 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m., Bicentennial Park. Andrew, anybody here from
I don't think
Rockland
so.
Racers? Okay.
No, that was basically it. Just wanted to let the community know.
So that was the announcement. Okay. Next on the agenda, minutes, review and approval of minutes of May 17th, 2022. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
It's 3 unanimous, and Kara's abstaining. Okay, next on the agenda, under new business, Rockland Pride update. Jean Bueni? No, I don't see Jean.
Jean's not able to attend tonight,
Okay.
so Susan Tasker is
Sue,
going
come on
to
up.
fill in for her.
Hi, thank you. I just wanted to say good evening. We are here to announce a new group that we represent in the town of Rockland that we have lovingly named Rockland Pride. This group is created to support the LGBTQ plus community and educate all of the Rockland community. At this time, I'd like to call up the founder, Megan, and our member, Chris.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome, guys.
Hello.
Thanks for coming up.
You guys keep it hot in here, so we keep it short and sweet, right?
Is that what it is? Anybody else hot, or?
So we represent Rockland Pride, and I know a lot of you may be thinking Rockland has a lot of pride already. Go Bulldogs. But this is a different kind of pride. In 1999, Bill Clinton announced that June would be Lesbian and Gay Pride Month. And some 23 years later, we've continued to observe the month of June. But as time has gone by, it is now known as LGBTQIA+ Pride Month, getting more progressive as the years have come. Rockland Pride, the group, only finds it fitting that during this month of Pride, we announce that we now have a community, our very own LGBTQ+ Pride group. This group was built on an idea that one of our own, Megan, had not too long ago. Megan and a few other like-minded individuals, myself included, have been meeting on our free time to form this group. And our mission statement is very simple. Rockland Pride aims to strengthen the LGBTQIA+ community through support, education, advocacy, and inclusivity. I know.
Yeah, so we would like to just let everyone know that we have our first public meeting, which is going to be on Thursday, June 16th at the McKinley Center, so Community Center, at 6 p.m. So this is open to any Rockland residents or anyone that's in the surrounding areas. And we are encouraging diversity and new ideas. We're also going to be at the Farmers Market and also at Rockland Day just to provide more information. And we're also pleased to announce that we have Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter accounts, and we'll be posting updates on that. So.
What are the handles for the Facebook account and Twitter?
It's at Rockland_Pride on all of them except for the Facebook. It's just Rockland Pride.
Anybody have any questions, comments?
I have a comment. There's a band. They are not quite from Rockland, but one of the members' girlfriends is in Rockland, and he's around all the time. And it's a Madonna tribute band. I know, girl. It is like we just went last weekend, and I actually dressed like Madonna.
Oh, did you?
It was fun. Yeah. So.
I need pics of that.
Yeah. It's called,
It'll be on our selecting page after the meeting.
Yeah, I know. I can put it in. Yeah, it's called Material World. So contact me if you need
Absolutely.
to hook up with them.
Thank you very
They're
much.
a lot of fun. They have Madonnas of all shapes and sizes.
Yes.
It's very diverse and inclusive.
And we couldn't get them for Rockland Day, I guess.
Well, I mean, maybe for
Maybe
any
next
events.
year. Yep, absolutely.
Definitely.
Anybody
next
else?
year.
Any comments?
I just want to say congratulations and thank you for all of your hard work. This is going to be a wonderful addition to the community, so thank you.
Thank you.
Keep up the great work.
Thank you very much.
Wish you guys both best of luck.
Thank you.
Good luck to you. Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda, National Grid installation of gas pipe at Dyer Street. Doug?
Right, and we actually have a representative from National Grid with us here today, named Maloney, so I'll ask her to step up, and if you don't mind, Mary, just explain what the request is. It's basically, it's pretty straightforward, permission to access a road in town for gas piping. The one thing I'll just say from the outset, I know she was just talking to Highway Superintendent Dave Taylor in the hallway before she came in. We do recommend, approval of the request, but I would also recommend that it be contingent on National Grid ensuring that they're, trying to think of the right word, that they're current with all the fees that are owed to the town for any other permits that are outstanding. So as long as it's contingent on all fees being paid, the highway superintendent and I do recommend it, but I'll turn it over to her to explain the request.
Good evening. National Grid hereby respectfully requests your consent to install and maintain approximately 450 feet of 2-inch plastic main extending from the 2-inch plastic dating back to 2013 main in South Douglas Street to the new 15-unit construction project. And they're going to install up to 100 feet of 5 1-inch plastic services extending from the proposed 2-inch plastic main extension described to serve the new 5 buildings on Dyer Street.
Okay. Dave, any concerns on this project?
No. Doug made mention of it. I did talk to Kip today, so the obligation should be met into. There are a few weeks out on that.
Okay.
There will be remediation on South Douglas Street, but that's not a lot. It's just that remediation is referring to the tie-in with refurbishment.
And then, as always, National Grid is responsible for repairs to the road after the work is done?
That's hence the
Yep.
remediation.
Yep. Yep, just in layman's terms.
Are there any safety concerns? Like, are the Rockland Police going to be on it? As far as...
I don't think they could hear you.
No, wait, could I don't think.
Are the police, is the police department going to be there to handle any safety concerns?
Yeah, they go
Or-
through all the
Yeah.
details
Do?
protocols, so that would
Okay.
be private.
All right.
So they would be details private.
Okay.
Anybody else have any questions or concerns about the project?
Looks good to me.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion, I have a second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
You too.
All right. Next on the agenda, one-day liquor license requests, farmers market. Allison, come on up. How are you?
Good. I don't have any fun pamphlets today.
Nothing
It's
fun
just
tonight?
the same old.
No visual aids, huh? All
Nope.
right. So what are we looking for?
What are we looking for?
10th District
Ma-
and
10th District.
Independent Fermentation Brewing.
Yeah,
Maybe you should have some pamphlets.
yeah.
All right, so
Says,
10th
yeah.
District
And that's-
and Independent Fermentations Brewing?
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
So paperwork looks as though it's in order. Anybody have any questions, concerns, or comments?
Nope.
And I'll entertain a motion to approve both.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Thank you.
It's unanimous. Thanks, Allison.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for all your hard work, Allison.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, next on the agenda, one-day liquor license, Social Cocktails LLC at Social Chamber of Commerce event, June 16th, from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Anybody here for that? Yep. How you doing?
Hello.
My name's Erica. I just started a bar staffing company, South Shore Cocktails LLC. I just joined the Chamber of Commerce as well, so Julie asked me if I could do their event on the 16th, beer and wine only, 4 to 7. So that is what we are looking for. I don't know if you need any other information from me.
Paperwork looks in order. If anybody has any questions, concerns, or comments?
Nope.
If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? It's unanimous.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you much.
Have a good night.
You too.
You too.
Take care.
All right, next on the agenda, one-day liquor license request, Rockland Day, Article 15 Brewing, LLC. Come on up, guys.
Evening. All right, so Article 15 Brewing, we're obviously new here to the town of Rockland. Sort of simultaneously tonight, applying for our one-day permit to commence for Rockland Day to serve with all the other breweries, as well as obviously seeing you guys as well for our final pouring permit with the town as well.
Okay, anybody have any questions or concerns about the one-day liquor license? And I'll entertain a motion to approve the one-day liquor license.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all those in favor? That's unanimous. Okay.
Thank you.
Next, on-premises pouring permit for Article 15 Brewing LLC, 406 BFW Drive. All right, so tell us about yourselves.
Absolutely.
You
So,
guys, we've been anticipating for quite some time for you
Yeah.
guys to be open and joining us here.
So to tell you the short story, so basically we operated in Weymouth for almost 3 years. COVID obviously impacted us directly. We were unfortunately had to close down over there. As a Rockland resident, I chose to move over here to Rockland to bring the brewery to town, which was about December a year and a half ago. During that time, we've been going through a rebuild process over on VFW Drive in the old Kathy Corrigan's building. We've now reached full completion, got all of our permits for all of the construction. Everything is at the completion point, and at this point, we're petitioning the town to be approved for our Farmer Brewer Series pouring permit, which would allow us to operate, to allow the general public to come in and operate during the pre-approved hours for sampling and tasting of beer.
Okay. Before we get to any kind of a vote, any questions or comments?
When are you opening?
Exactly.
Well, our target is to be able to open for July 1st.
Oh.
And
pretty
what
good.
will the hours be?
So our hours are going to be Thursdays from 4 to 10 p.m., Fridays from 4 to 11, Saturdays from 12 to 11, and Sundays we work 12 to 6.
Okay.
All right.
Any other questions, concerns, or comments?
I saw the plans for the build-out. It looks really cool.
Yeah, it's been a labor of love. We're
Sure.
really happy with the way everything turned out. It's we were able to our goal was to try and carry the theme that we had and sort of the feeling that we had in Weymouth over to a much larger space. We went from a 3,000 square foot space to a 10,000 square foot space. So obviously it's a big jump for us.
Yep.
But we're really proud because we're a veteran-owned operation, and the biggest thing is being able to carry that feeling of pride back over into that building. And again, obviously, I felt like coming to Rockland has a very strong veteran community.
Absolutely.
And it ties in very well with what we're doing over there. So we're really excited to open that up finally and let everyone see all the work that we've done.
Awesome.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Anybody have any other thoughts?
Wish you well. Glad to see you here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Then I'll entertain a
Hope
motion.
to see you there.
Yeah, of course.
You will. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
I got a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I got a motion in 2 seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Welcome to Rockland, guys.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Looking forward to everything. Thank you.
That was a lightning round. It was
Right.
crazy.
Right?
All right,
I wonder if
next.
they're going to donate to veterans organizations. I forgot to ask them that.
I think we got their email in here.
Yeah.
Maybe just send them an email after.
Yeah, okay.
Next on the agenda. Grant agreement for CPA project at Copley Garden, 105 Market Street.
Sure, thanks, Mike. So, as the board remembers, at the last town meeting voted to approve $100,000 from the Community Preservation Act funding for the creation of affordable housing at Copley Gardens. So, we probably didn't have to put this on the agenda, but I wanted to just to sort of highlight for the board, because I think this is the first time we've done it, and also for the public to understand, excuse me, that when we're giving taxpayer-funded CPA funds to a private entity for an appropriate project like this, I just want the board to understand, as well as taxpayers to know, we're not just giving a blank check for somebody to spend the money on anything. It has to be for the specific purpose that town meeting voters voted at the meeting. And so that's what this grant agreement that's included in your packet that was prepared by our Land Use Council articulates very clearly. It explains exactly what the funds can only be used on, what the reporting requirements are, what the milestones are, to ensure there's good auditing of the taxpayer funds. And ultimately, this will be executed by the Board of Selectmen, the Community Preservation Committee, as well as the private entity that's doing the project. So Probably in the future, we won't need to put these on the agenda, but I just wanted to highlight, again, to the board and to the community that this is how we're making sure public funds for a private project will be monitored. And it's a standard process that's used in other towns. It's not something unique to Rockland, but it's the first time we've done it here. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have, but I think it's pretty straightforward.
Anybody have any questions or comments?
I don't.
Well, I appreciate the update.
Okay. Thank you, Doug. Next on the agenda, other new business not reasonably anticipated?
I have none.
Okay. Next on the agenda, old business, appointments continued. Okay, so just a couple of things. I'll read through it. Capital Planning Committee, 3-year term, Richard Harris, 16 Morningside Drive. Charter Review Committee, 3-year term, Brandon Silva, 445 Market Street. Alternate Fence Viewer, 1-year term, Jim Paul, 162 Webster Street. South Shore Regional School Committee, 3-year term, Robert Mahoney, 16 Maple Street. Alternate Building Inspector, 1-year term, recommended by Building Inspector Tom Rubel, Bob Curran, 31 Dane Terrace in Whitman. Okay, so anybody know Brandon Silva?
No.
Anybody? No?
I do not.
Could we maybe have him come
Yeah,
forward?
and I'm glad you asked that, Mike, because we did ask him to attend tonight, and we didn't hear back, so I was actually going to recommend maybe we wait until he attends the
Yeah,
meeting.
I mean, I think it's one of those committees that, you really want to take the time to interview the person and find out what their motivations are and what they want to accomplish by being on the Charter Maintenance, Charter Review Committee. As for the other ones, I mean, Richard Harris is a reappointment. Jim Paul is, I believe, a reappointment. Mr. Mahoney is a reappointment. And the alternate building inspector is a recommendation from Tom Rubel. So I will entertain a motion, and then, Bob, I'll bring you back. I'll bring you up front if you have something. Did you have something, Bob?
Yes.
Okay.
Just like to give you an update of what's going on down at the school.
Okay, give me 2 seconds. Let me go here. You guys, I'll entertain a motion to approve those other 4.
Make a motion to approve.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Okay, so now from South Shore Regional School Committee member, newly reappointed, Bob
Thank
Mahoney.
you.
Have a seat.
Thank you. I prefer to stand if
Sure,
possible.
that's fine too.
Just to get updates. Right now enrolled in our school, currently in the 9th grade, we have 40 Rockland students. 10th grade, we have 31. 11th grade, 32. In the upcoming year, we had 61 applications from Rockland students, and we accepted 31, and currently the other 30 are on the wait list, which, if you're watching, you can always reapply as sophomores, because a lot of kids find out that it's not what they wanted, or it's not their choice, but they're able to come back in and apply as a sophomore. Just to also give an update, we have Skills USA, which is a thing that goes through all the vocational schools throughout the state. We had some very good turnouts. I just want to highlight one. Patrick Tanzi from Rockland was in metal fab and welding, and he had a bronze medal for the whole state. So coming in third is a pretty good goal with
Excellent.
over, I think it's over, if he participated against over 100 kids in that shop.
Excellent.
And our horticulture program had, they finished first in the state with, so they'll be moving on to the national competition for it's called Future Farmers FFA, Future Farmers of America, and they'll be traveling to compete against nationwide there. So they finished first in the floral design, and then on the turf management, they came in second on that as well. So those are the things there. The other good news is that we've been accepted into MSBA. So now we're starting the process of doing that to either look into additions or whatever that is. But it's a process, as you guys well know, going through it.
It is a process. I wish you well on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Excited for you guys.
But just wanted to give all these updates of the good things going on in the school. I know Dr. Hickey's always in communication with Mr. Vaught and having great communication back and forth. And No kids, good. So, do you have any questions?
Anybody have a question for Bob? Comments?
I don't. Appreciate the update. A lot of great news.
It is good news. It's just like, Rockland students, say, really excelling down there in the school. And we do have a town participating that's looking to come into the district as well. So that's going to really tighten it up. And but again, it's vocational education. Dr. Crum will tell you, it's now public education has become a competitive market. So with the way those things are in the trades, they're screaming for help. But, we had the seniors, we just graduated 153 students. 109 of them were out on co-op and 40 juniors. They worked a grand total of $54,356, and they earned $858,141. That's what they made on co-op, these students. So it's a great thing. So, and thank you very much for the appointment.
How many years, Bob?
Look forward to it. Huh?
How many years now?
3.
No, how many years have you been on so far?
This will be my 3rd appointment, so I'll be coming on for 6 years now.
All right. Well, thank you, Bob. Appreciate the update.
Great.
Thank you
Thank you
for your
very
service.
much.
Thank you.
Have a nice evening.
You too.
Thanks.
Okay. Next on the agenda, Massworks grant application update. Doug.
Sure, thanks, Mike. I just wanted to give the board an update on something we discussed at a previous meeting, which I'm pleased to announce that we have successfully submitted a request to the state for a roughly $1 million Massworks grant, and it's specifically for the design of roadway improvements along Reservoir Park Drive from Weymouth Street down to Hingham Street, and then from Hingham Street pretty much down to the highway. And the purpose of the improvements is really twofold. Number one, we need the improvements now because, as anybody that drives in that area knows, it's jammed up and there's just not enough lanes, not enough turning lanes. It doesn't really meet the needs of the community as it sits today. But in addition, there's future development that's pending. Obviously, Union Point is a big future development that's been in the works for a long time, and then there's other development along Hingham Street, and one of the largest developers there is A.W. Perry that owns quite a bit of land. So what's really so exceptional about this application is that it's a public-private partnership, and we worked very closely with A.W. Perry and the developers at Union Point, the master developer. And the developers are paying 100% of the in-kind match. So there's no Rockland taxpayer funds that are associated with this. The matching funds are coming exclusively from the developers. And pulling those developers in really helps make the grant request more attractive to the state, that it's not just a road going to nowhere. It's a road that's going to be connected to potential future development. So there was, and the last thing I guess I'll say on that part of it is this will be funds that will come to the town of Rockland, including the match from the developers, and then it'll be the town's engineering consultant, and the town, meaning Dave Taylor and other town officials, will be managing the design and oversight of the project. So Jen Constable, the assistant town administrator, and Dave Taylor did a ton of work along with multiple engineers from all the development teams as well as our own engineering firm. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. We put some material in your packet, some of the letters of support as well as the application itself. And I know I keep saying this will be the last thing, but this really will be the last thing I'll say is there was obviously a lot of permitting and conditions that were required in the past when the prior developers up at Union Point, had plans in play, and there were MEPA permits and all kinds of other conditions. And that especially went across Union Street. And the highway superintendent, Dave Taylor, is also working on a large grant, I'll call it a TIP project with the state to completely reconstruct VFW Drive all the way up to the Hingham town line into Weymouth Street and Hingham. So we're trying to do this in a comprehensive manner, making sure that everything's aligned right, that we're not designing or constructing something that'll have to be torn up and redone later, that it's all done comprehensively, including whatever types of conditions were required and will continue to be required for Reservoir Park Drive and that intersection and Hingham Street with potential future Union Point development. So Dave and Jen are here if there's more questions, but we just wanted to give you that update that it was successfully submitted, and we'll anxiously await the results.
Anybody have any questions or comments?
Yeah, I do. Can you explain a little bit about the improvements that are going to be made? Because from residents, they're kind of freaking out about all of the development and construction, and they have no idea what's going up and when. And
Yeah. So I think the main thing I would stress is the improvements we're talking about are roadway improvements, right? We're not talking about building projects or development. We're talking about roadway improvements. And I think, and I'll let Dave correct me if I screw any of this up, one of the major parts is if you're coming from the highway along Hingham Street toward downtown Rockland, there's 2 lanes and then it pinches down to 1 lane, and there's a lot of congestion there. So one part of this will be keeping 2 lanes that whole way, having an extra lane. And similarly on Reservoir Park Drive, where there's often a lot of backups, it'll be widening the road where there's already the road format is there. So there's an additional lane, extra turning lanes. Is that in a nutshell, Dave? How do you say it?
So that would help alleviate the congestion right now?
So you have congestion from, there was a original grant, goes back 10 or 12 years ago, and where it came off the highway and connected to almost Commerce, where you almost have 4 or 5 lanes there. The format got widened, and then it thins out after Commerce over to Reservoir. So it would totally improve that intersection and also the Reservoir where we get the bottlenecking there right now. So.
And when is this supposed to? When's the groundbreaking for all this supposed to happen?
Well, Jen, when is the announcement on the grant that we just submitted?
So the expected announcement on the grant would be this fall, but I want to emphasize, excuse me, this grant application is only for design and engineering of the project. Once that happens, and even I expect during that process, there'll be extensive outreach to the community and community engagement. So this isn't a construction grant, that would be the next round of funding. And then the road work from VFW to Route 3, that actually would be funded through a different source. And so this funding, if awarded, actually is leveraging millions of dollars. And I also would want to emphasize that it's not just road work improvement to alleviate congestion, but it's also supporting multimodal transportation and vehicular, pedestrian safety as well.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty questionably safe now.
Right, and I think that's the main point, is it's something that would, and as Jen said, it's only designed now. So actual construction, if we're lucky and get further grants, is going to be years off. But the intent of this is to improve traffic problems we have now, but do it in a way that will be able to accommodate future development down the road in the future.
Anybody else?
Makes sense.
You good? Everybody good?
I think I'm good.
Okay.
And thank you for all your hard work on this.
Thank you.
All right, moving on. Other old business not reasonably anticipated. Doug?
None.
None, okay. Town administrators report and correspondence.
Thanks, Mike. So just a couple of quick updates. I am pleased to report that after I've been talking for months about how much work has been involved with submitting all the final documentation to the state for the McCarthy Farm reimbursement, it has been submitted and received. So I am very relieved about that. The state has followed up with some questions, some very technical details about some language in the conservation restriction and some details on our survey plan. We're getting right on that, and we'll get that squared away to their satisfaction shortly. But everything's been submitted. I do not foresee any problems with getting that reimbursement. I was out of town 2 days last week at the Mass Managers Association conference, and that was very effective. It was interesting. It's always interesting to hear what other communities across the state are doing. And in particular, there was a theme where they were talking quite a bit about just all the difficult things that everybody's been experiencing the last year or two, COVID only being one of them. And there was a lot of discussion about what managers and communities are doing, not just for the community, but particularly for their staff and how they're supporting their staff. And I got some good ideas. There's some good initiatives that we're going to try to discuss here with department heads next week. But it was very helpful, so I appreciate the time to be able to go to those conferences. Also wanted to mention that we're still in the middle of union negotiations, so we still have a ways to go, but we are making good progress. And then on the staffing front, our new town accountant, Scott Curtis, who you hired, just started yesterday. And he returned again today, so that's good. We are in good shape. We're happy to have him, and he's doing, really just what we expected and just what he said he'd do, which is he's listening, he's reading, he's, posting the warrant from town meeting and into Munis and just kind of digging through the budget and all that. So it's all good so far. We're happy to have him. And then lastly, on the staffing front, we did conduct the initial interviews for a Council on Aging director. And I will talk to Mike about the scheduling, but I'm going to recommend that at your next meeting in 2 weeks that the board conducts your interviews of those same individuals. There are 3, and we have very good candidates, and I feel confident they'll be someone that you will be satisfied with. So we feel very good about that. And that's all I have.
Okay.
I had a question. Do you have any updates on the town planner?
I don't tonight. We're kind of working our way through a lot of different vacancies, and like I said, we were just focusing on the COA director, but at the next meeting, I can give you an update on that.
Cool.
I'll put that on the agenda, or
Sure.
do it in your comments.
Yeah.
Next on the agenda, Selectmen's comments. Comments and opinions expressed by individual members do not necessarily reflect the views of the Board of Selectmen, and are the opinions and comments of only the individual member. Selectwoman Childs?
I believe I've commented enough tonight.
Okay. Thanks, Lori.
Yeah.
Selectwoman Needham?
I would like to extend my congratulations to the Rockland class of 2022. What an accomplishment. So I just wanted to congratulate our seniors on graduating.
Thank you, Tiffany. Vice Chairman Nyman?
I'll also join my colleague and extend my congratulations to the class of 2022. Wish you all well in your future endeavors.
Thank you, Kara. So I just want to give an acknowledgement to our Veteran Service Agent, Veteran Affairs Agent Tim White, and our part-time agent Steve Joyce for their Memorial Day celebration that they put on Memorial Day Monday down at the Veterans Memorial. It was very well attended, despite the 90-degree heat, but it was a great ceremony, and it was somber, which is should be the tone of the day, and I thought it was a really good job, good program put together by the 2 veterans agents. I also want to extend my thanks to the school department for inviting me to the Memorial Day celebration that they had for the elementary schools in the stadium this past Wednesday. They had Sergeant Dan Clark from the Massachusetts State Troopers, who is, I should say former Marine, who's a Marine, the singing trooper. I don't know if you guys have seen that before. He's got an amazing voice, but he had all 3 of the elementary schools, kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade. It was very well attended. There was no parking anywhere at the time of the show. I had to park in front of Town Hall and walk to the stadium. Place was packed. There's a great police presence at the stadium. The fire department was there. It's one of those things that I think as a town, it's going to be probably a tradition going forward. I guess Trooper Clark has done it other years at just the Eston, but with the new school coming on board next year, their hope is to do this annually. And if you get an opportunity to go next year, absolutely go, because it was a great experience, I think, for all the kids. He did such a good job of not only singing, but explaining the history behind the songs and the significance of the songs and the armed forces of each branch of our military service. And there was also a folding of the flag ceremony for our 4 Gold Star families in town. And it was very, very well attended, and I couldn't speak, better about the event. I thought it was done very well. It was an hour and a half long too, so it was really, a nice time. And fortunately, it wasn't 90 degrees like it was on Memorial Day. I also just want to acknowledge the passing of Bob Fritz. He was a longtime Rockland resident. My condolences to his wife, Mary Ann, his daughter, Melissa, and Liz, as well as his son, Chris. Bob was my soccer coach growing up. He was a really good guy, really great soccer coach. I don't think he lost a game despite having me on his team. But he was a very excellent guy, 75 years old, and, thoughts and prayers with him and his family. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn into executive session for a joint meeting with the Board of Sewer Commissioners per Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to potential litigation that is demonstrably likely, and per Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A6, to consider the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property, map 24, lot 26, not to reconvene.
Mike, if I may, I respectfully question the need of one of the items on the executive session with the sewer commissioners, that being the EPA. I don't think it meets the criteria of...
It's potential litigation.
Not unless we're suing the EPA. And I was also made aware today that Wright Pierce was notified, so therefore that article is not, that notice is not a classified document. To me, that now is public record.
Bob Galvin's in the audience.
Can we get Bob Galvin? So we'll adjourn our open meeting anyway. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Selectwoman Childs? Selectwoman Needham?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Nunn?
Yes.
And myself. Okay. We'll take a short recess. Thank you, everyone.